Welcome back to Writer's Block. With the Pro 14 and Rugby Championship back, our little panel of Stephen Kisbey-Green, Garfield Khanyile, Lutho Magasana, as well as myself, Shaun Goosen, will be taking a look at what's transpired thus far, as well as what is still to come. But remember, if you are a local Grantonian sports star who'd like to gain some more exposure and perhaps come on the show yourself, feel free to email us or contact us at the email address below. Lutho, before we go international, the local boys, the Southern Kings, are playing the Dragons in Wales tomorrow. Of course, this is their second Pro 14 tournament, having played and only won once against the Dragons last season. Can we bounce back and perhaps get the Southern Kings, can they get a win tomorrow?
I hope so. I hope they get a win, but taking from my experience in watching them play, last season they didn't do well, and then this season they are playing away. They're not playing at home. It's one thing when a team plays at home, and then it's another thing when it plays away.
Absolutely.
Because that team also don't want to lose at home. So I don't think so, but I hope so.
It will be a difficult challenge.
Yeah,
and you talk about experience and the importance of experience. Obviously, this is the Kings and the Cheetahs' second season in the Pro 14. Lutho, would it be unreasonable of us to expect a better win rate from the Southern Kings this season, especially since this is their second season in the Pro 14?
It wouldn't be an unreasonable thing to do because it's a South African team. We are South Africans, so they need our support. So we need to be hopeful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Garfield, Coach Dion Davids has named some new faces in his Pro 14 squad, but will any of them have the desired effect to maybe get a few more than one win?
Well, Mr. Goosen, the simple reply to that question is simply that these new players have to fit in like new kids on the playground.
Absolutely.
Like, you're going to step into a new field, you have to make new friends, new relationships, you're going to have to make an effort to bond, and that's the only way the results are going to come. If those new players step into this Kings team with the desire to win, they can be the new flame that's going to ignite a spirit of a team that wants to win. Because if you look at the Kings, they are a team with a very, very big potential.
Absolutely.
But they just need somebody, that X-factor player, to unlock that spirit for them.
Absolutely, Garfield. Well, moving on to the Rugby Championship, Steve, Book Coach Rassie Erasmus has named some new faces in his squad to take on the Australians in Brisbane tomorrow. Your thoughts on team selection?
It's interesting that he said that he's going to make changes en masse when he went through to Mendoza, and the only change was Franco Mostert coming into the side. And then after that really poor performance from the whole box squad in Mendoza, that he makes 6 changes. It's interesting that the move to drop Malcolm Marx to the bench is a good one 2 weeks ago. Yes, Malcolm Marx has been playing a lot of rugby. I think he's been playing pretty much non-stop since this time last year. And he does deserve a break. Granted, bench is not always a break, but he does deserve a bit of a break. That being said, you don't put your best defensive and attacking hooker on the bench against the team with David Pocock, with Michael Hooper, although David Pocock has actually been ruled out this morning due to injury. Erasmus didn't know that at the time. You can't. I think that decision should have been made in Mendoza. Put Mbonambi on the starting berth in Mendoza, or even in South Africa against Argentina, because Argentina is the type of team that you could test your depth with, and not it won't be too drastic to bring on your proven match winners late in the game. At the same time, speaking of Mendoza, the only player that I found that actually was halfway decent in Argentina was Lionel Mapu. And now he finds himself back playing Currie Cup rugby this weekend, and that to me is very confusing. He scores 2 tries. Granted, one of them was anyone could have scored because there was nobody in front of him. But he scored 2 tries, make no mistakes on defence, and do some fantastic stuff with ball in hand that might not have resulted in scores, but definitely resulted in field position. And then next thing you get dropped from the squad entirely. And then all of a sudden Damon de Allende and Jesse Creel get called up. that is a very confusing decision to me.
And you spoke about Mendoza, and of course the Boks were really outmuscled there, particularly in the loose trio. Peter Stiff, the toys back at blindside flank. For you?
For me, it's always good to have a third lock on the field, and that's exactly what he is. He's a third lock. He's proven time and time again that he cannot defend in that blindside channel.
Very physical.
He's very physical, yes, and I agree that, as I said, it's nice to have a third lock on the pitch. And in the absence of a Dwayne Vermeulen or a more physical loose forward like Dwayne Vermeulen, yes, it's a great idea to have somebody like a Peter Steph du Toit on the blindside flank. As I said, du Toit is not, and I've said this for a long time, du Toit is not a blindside flank. He's not a loose forward. Proven throughout the year, Franco Morstead is actually more suited to make that switch than Peter Steph du Toit. So yes, keep all three of your locks on the field. Move Morstead to 7, because odds are he'll be defending at 7 in actuality anyway.
Absolutely.
Just put the number on his back.
Absolutely. Well, we have been talking about the forwards a great deal. Alton Yankees has been selected to start at flower half for Rassie Erasmus. Garfield, much debate around this decision. Is he an international quality test, number 10 for you?
I'd like to open with yes. Yes, he is. Because if you look at his performance, yes, they've dipped.
Yes.
If they haven't, that would mean he wasn't a good player at all. Because what makes a great player is how many bad games you have. How many games you have to put to bed knowing that that wasn't my best. So tomorrow when I come out and represent the Lions or the Springboks, I have to give it everything I have. So that's why I feel like tomorrow he's going to come out with something to prove. Not just his pride, but his love for rugby. Because Elton, as you know, he's gone through so much. And people still ridicule him to this day. But still he hasn't given up. And that's character.
Perseverance, absolutely character, yeah.
So that clearly shows that he wants to prove to the world what he already knows. It's just the people don't see it because it's easy to find a bad pea in a pod while you're looking for it. So I feel that Elton Yankees is one of the best fly-offs South Africa has to offer. It's just a bad patch for him. And tomorrow, giving him the starting berth once again will just give him the confidence to go out to the world on such a momentous occasion and prove to South Africans that they can believe in him wearing the number 10 jersey.
Absolutely. Steve, I know you're a big, or you've got some opinions surrounding Yankees. What are your thoughts?
I think it's interesting that Erasmus chose Australia to start him,
Especially away.
And the reports are that from the beginning this was the plan. If Erasmus planned all of his decisions for this particular test match, I'm very intrigued as to why he chose Yankees, who is notorious for being poor behind a weak pack, to start with the weak pack, if you want to put it that way. When you drop your front rows, your starting front row, Beast and Marks, you drop both of them to the bench. That automatically weakens your front row. Automatically weakens your scrum. Yes, Stephen Kittorf is a fantastic scrummager. Yes, Bongi Manambi, a great scrummager.
And ball carrier.
Both of them are good ball carriers. But they're not as good as the Beast and as Marks. That's why Beast and Marks have been starting predominantly throughout both of their careers in the green and gold. So you take Yankees, who has been performing well with a strong pack, like when he's at the Lions. The Lions dominate their scrummaging exchanges for the most part. That's when Yankees plays well. The minute the Lions backtrack on scrums, that's when Yankees starts panicking, doesn't know what to do, his decision making is not good. He has to rely on Ross Cronier to make those decisions. Faf de Klerk, fantastic player. He doesn't have the greatest rugby mind in terms of decision making. Ross Cronier on the bench, he should be able to do that, but he's not there. So it's interesting. Erasmus isn't exactly throwing Yankees into the deep end to get mauled, but he is testing him quite a bit tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, the last time the Boks did beat Australia was in 2013 at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, where they will be playing tomorrow morning, SA time. Lutho, can we do it? Can we beat the Aussies again?
I believe so.
Absolutely.
I believe so.
Yeah, and Garfield, your prediction?
going to be a very tight game, but I'm going to go with the Springboks taking it 24-18.
24-18. Steve, for you?
I'm going to be a little bit tighter than that. I'm going to say it's going to be one of the tight battles at about 14 to 16.
Interesting stuff indeed. Well, thanks again for tuning in to Routers Block. Enjoy the week's rugby action, and we'll see you next week. Take care.